So I'm Paolo, CTO at Bitfinex and Tether. Today, I'm here to talk about the story of Tether from my point of view, from the innovation point of view, from the technology point of view. Let's start with something really, really boring. So, of course, I'm here, and there is that really ugly guy that is watching all of us. So I need to be careful on what I'm going to say, of course. So everything I'm going to say may or may not represent what Tether, the company, thinks, right? So this is purely my opinion, but I will present really interesting facts today. What is a stablecoin? So a stablecoin is a new class of cryptocurrencies that offer price stability because of a reserve backing. Now, there are plenty of stablecoins in the market now. There are some that are algorithmically backed, some that are all cash backed, some that have a mix of backing. Now, let's talk about the most important stablecoin, of course, that is Tether. So you can see this is the chart of the Tether growth. So it's today above $4.8 billion. It started really calm. You can see 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. What we are going to do today is to have like a quick overview of the history that all the events that brought Tether to be the biggest stablecoin in our market. So let's talk about briefly about the ecosystem. So imagine to be in 2013, 2014, there were a few exchanges running. Some already got hacked and closed, like Cryptocurrencies, I believe, and Mongox. Few exchanges were live and trusted. It was Bitfinex, Bitstamp, Kraken, OKCoin. Then one of the major problems back then was cross-exchange arbitrage. So as you know, one of the most important things is when you trade is to ensure that the price is stable across all the trading venues, right? You cannot have Bitcoin price 10,000 on one platform, 9,000 on another one, and so on, right? So there are market makers and arbitrageurs that are stepping in and trying to feel and to exploit that price difference, of course, to make money. And the result of that action, that force, will bring the price together between different platforms. But how do you do that if the major markets was the BTC USD market, and the price discrepancy, to close that price discrepancy, you had to send wires around. So you know, the Bitfinex price maybe is 10% higher, and then what you want to do is to send Bitcoin to Bitfinex and sell it, then withdraw cash and send that cash to an exchange that is lower, so you can buy back on that exchange, right? But if that cash is fiat, it needs to be moved through wires. That is painful. It can take from 1 to 5 days. You have a lot of banking frictions. And what about the weekends? I mean, what about there is big movement around the weekend? I mean, it was really, really hard to manage. At some point in late 2013, the Bitcoin price went above $1,000 for the first time, and there were exchanges that were giving really huge different prices, up to 20–30% of discrepancy. So a group of Bitcoin enthusiasts and really, my opinion, visionaries, understood that this was a huge problem for mainstream adoption, for anyway to have Bitcoin being considered a mainstream asset. So price discovery, arbitrage, spreads are really, really important for any institution, for any fund, and so on, right? So apart building, so you can build the infrastructure, but if you don't have a way to settle trades at the same pace, at the same speed of the asset that you are trading, that is really bad. Bitcoin, you can settle it, let's say, every 10 minutes. You can deposit and withdraw in 10 minutes from almost any exchange. But what happens if the other part of the settlement takes 1 or 5 days? That doesn't work, clearly. So the entire idea was to create a stablecoin, or to create a cryptocurrency that could represent a synthetic version of the dollar. So that cryptocurrency should, as I said before, have the same speed of Bitcoin, should be, of course, adopted by as many exchanges as possible, because you want to have this sort of speed in settlement. You want to ensure that almost all the trading venues have the same infrastructure, the same trading speed, of course, but also use the same settlement mechanism, so that every trader that trades on one exchange or another, they can all find the same tools, and they can use these tools to keep the spread really close. Of course, one of the most important things was to ensure that the banks were going to be happy with the type of KYC and compliance measures put in place when these stablecoins was going to be acquired or redeemed by the customers. So that is why when you have to acquire or redeem Tether, for example, you have to go through a thorough KYC process, because, of course, we want to have a safe environment for all the participants in the Tether ecosystem. So how we could do that, how that could be done technologically. So at that time, there was the main platform that was allowing issuing digital assets was called Mastercoin. So it was a software built is a colored coin solution protocol built on top of Bitcoin, on the security of Bitcoin. So so that was the best solution available back then, and so it was that was the obvious choice. Then the other obvious choice was the choice of USD as the main currency, because all the major trading pairs were traded against dollar. So, or BTC, Litecoin, eventually Ethereum, but that wasn't the case back then. What is important for me and for us is that today everyone talks about stablecoins. We get, as Tether, we get hundreds of questions every day. We get a huge interest. There are a lot of competitors that are trying to build their stablecoin, but everything, and I mean all the biggest journals in the world now are using the term stablecoin, and they chat about it as something that has been always there since like the prehistory, but it's not like that. Everything started with Tether. And started by this group of visionaries that understood that there was a key problem in our industry and tried to solve that. So, first 2 years, I believe if you recall the initial slide, the initial part of the presentation, there was like that plateau of that between 2015, 2016. Tether was, of course, the Tether team understood that the key part was trying to get as many exchanges on board as possible, but it was not so easy. I mean, not all the exchanges that they talked to were able to understand the potential of having this solution. So for the first 1 year and a half, between 2015 and 2016, we have seen like maximum $20 million issuance. Then Poloniex and, well, first of all, Bitfinex listed it as an alternative method to withdraw dollars. So Bitfinex was maintaining a peg 1-to-1 between Tether and dollar. And then eventually Poloniex added it as a base pair against all the altcoins. So Poloniex was the home of the altcoin in 2016, 2017. And basically they started to add all these pairs against USDT. But still, I mean, 2016 was not a great year for volume. 2017, we all know about 2017. There was a huge, massive boom in all the cryptocurrency markets. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, that at that point was born and was live and traded in different venues. Poloniex was the home of all the of Ethereum. Was the place where Ethereum really boomed in terms of volume, Monero, Dash, Ripple, whatever you have was traded against USDT, against Tether, and that is so. For the first time, there was this important arbitrage opportunity and really fast arbitrage opportunity between different platforms. So imagine now that you have Poloniex and Bitfinex, and you can send really fast tethers between one and another. And you can, so every time there is a price discrepancy, you can start your algorithm, and you can take advantage of that and can make a lot of money. And the more people figured that out, the more people understood that there were money to be made, they all jumped in. And of course, there was this increasing volume of and interest around Tether. Now, if you recall, there was all the ICO boom. So all the projects that raised money around that time then went to exchanges, and all their pairs. At least there was the base pair that everyone almost was trading was against Tether. Now they were listed against Bitcoin, against Ethereum, fine. But the most liquid pair was always Tether. We have new exchanges coming to life, many of which started to list pairs against Tether. And we have established exchanges like Asian exchanges like OKX, OKCoin, and Huobi that in September, October 2017 added USDT pairs. So all these huge arbitrage opportunity then starting from two venues spread to multiple venues made the success of Tether, because eventually, for example, Bitfinex made in one day, I believe in December 2018, more than $8.5 billion traded in 24 hours, and that was possible thanks to the impressive arbitrage opportunity that was available between all the exchanges that listed Tether. Now, of course, Tether started to, due to all this massive interest, all these massive trading opportunities, and all the boom of new tokens, of the ICOs, and everything, and new blockchains that were announced or born, the demand of Tether grew to the roof. And from $10–20 million, it reached in one single year $2 billion. That was really crazy. Sometimes you were slapping yourself, to think, but is this real? And that was real. It was an impressive moment, I believe, for the entire industry, because of course the industry was going through the first, let's say, big bull run, and basically we saw that the vision of the team that created Tether was coming to fruition. Was the entire reason of Tether of existing was facilitating arbitrage and creating better markets, and making cryptocurrency markets more mainstream, more available to institutional traders, hedge funds. 2018 was a moment of consolidation. We all know 2018 was kind of a boring period. Well, at least not the beginning. We have seen the Bitcoin price going from 15K to 30K, and Tether consolidates itself the market cap in $2.5 billion. So that was when then the crypto market started. The volumes across all the exchanges started to shrink. We have seen some outflow of cash from the entire crypto markets, and of course of Tether, as I will show shortly. We have also seen an important fact is that we have also seen competition. So for the first time, Tether started to have competitors. Paxos and USDC all started their operation in late 2018, around September, October. They joined the party when all the fun was already gone. So that also played a big advantage to Tether because, of course, Tether had enough time to establish itself through all the 2017 and almost all the 2018. In late 2018, Tether redeemed $500 million worth of the tokens. It was announced publicly. So the market capitalization went down to $2 billion. But why am I saying this? Because $500 million is bigger than the current biggest Tether competitor. And yet, there was no friction for the users that withdrew that type of money. Those $500 million were redeemed without any friction. And that, again, is higher than the entire market capitalization of the biggest Tether competitor. 2019, the journey continues. We have seen the Q1 2019, the crypto winter continuing, and Tether team was trying to understand how to improve and to continue the innovation, because it's important when you are in a situation, a winning situation, you need to understand how to keep your first mover advantage. So there was a lot of brainstorming, and that led to important realizations that I will talk briefly after. Luckily, in the Q2, we start seeing a higher volatility. The price of Bitcoin started moving up from 5 to 8K and eventually to $13,000. And volatility is always good for the markets because, it shows that there is opportunity for big institutions, for funds to make money. So we see more inflow. And that has been another crazy moment because that moment made Tether passing from 2 billion to 4 billion of market capitalization in few months, while the competition didn't move much, honestly. So one of the things that we realized in 2019 is that Tether, to maintain that advantage on the competition, it should try to remain and become even more the central liquidity for the crypto markets. So how you do that? So in 2018, we listed Tether on the Ethereum blockchain, because, of course, in end of 2017, the Bitcoin fees were really, really high. The exchanges were not much into doing transaction batching. So that resulted in really high fees. So given the demand of the traders, we decided to issue Tether on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And then moving with that in mind, we started to say, okay, but there is a big community in Ethereum. But there is a big community around EOS, around Tron, around eventually Liquid. And so we came to the realization that Tether could be the only true common value across multiple blockchain, across multiple communities. And it's crazy to me that the competition didn't realize that yet. That is quite it's not rocket science. It's easy to understand that if your product, as long as your product is used by multiple blockchain, multiple communities, it gets much stronger, right? So Tether has been really good in trying to avoid any religion war, anything like that, because that only is a private company. So the biggest interest of Tether is keep growing, and if as long as the blockchain is safe, is secure, and there are security audits and is kept secure, then it's worth trying. It's worth trying to see if there is a possibility of issue on top of that blockchain. So 2020, this year has been, I believe, for most of us, more interesting year than the last one. So as we saw in the last days, volatility is picking up again. I believe that there is going to be quite a big interest in institutional money. And in 2018, 2019, everyone was talking about institutional money. It will come. It will come. It never came. But this year seems like more likely. So we have seen USDt as the choice for many new products that were created among the biggest exchanges. And we decided also to keep moving forward with adding Tether on other blockchains. We started with Algorand a few weeks ago, and we have other two big ones in the pipeline. We are wrapping the security audits. So just to give a quick summary of what we achieved to date is Tether is available in USDT, EURT, CNHT, that is renminbi offshore. We launched recently Tether Gold that has got massive interest from funds because they are starting seeing this as an opportunity to hedge themselves. Of course, it will take time to get the kind of market capitalization that is needed for proper hedging. But we started 1 month ago, and Tether Gold is already the biggest gold-backed stablecoin by market capitalization, and seems like in the last 24 hours by trading volume. So it's launched on Omni, Ethereum, Liquid, Tron, EOS, and Algorand, and has more to date, more than $4.8 billion market cap. So a summary of what I believe is important to know about Tether. So is incredibly innovative. Is built by crypto enthusiasts for the crypto community. It's not like some banker just woke up and say, okay, let's step into the market and trying to make some money around. I mean, Tether was sort of started as just an idea to push and improve the exchanges businesses and to serve the Bitcoin industry. So even the Tether team couldn't understand initially the potential growth and the potential business around Tether. But we are here, I mean, and now we are seeing that there is a growing demand, there is, let's say, a lot of huge interest. I will talk briefly about that. So it's extremely resilient, proved so many times. Yeah, the concept of stablecoin that everyone talks about today started with this simple story, with this simple idea in 2014. Tether also has the properties of the three properties of a currency, even if it's not a currency, it's a cryptocurrency. So it's a unit of account, store of value, and mean of exchange. It's easy to understand all the three of these points. Medium of exchange is why Tether was born really originally. Store of value, we are seeing these days that when the market crashes, a lot of funds or traders are anyway going to cash. What is called cash most of the time now I'm going to Tether. So I'm selling my assets and stay in Tether because it's a stable value. Tether is registered as an MSB with FinCEN. Is regulated under BVI law. So don't get you tricked when someone says Tether is not regulated. That is not true. Tether is backed by reserves. So that can be cash equivalents from time to time, assets and receivable from loans. And Tether is doing great and has first mover advantage, has the vision, has the trust of the crypto community, because as much as you can, as much as you can read crazy things around Tether, it's keep growing. I mean, you can see it here, right? The competition started quite strong, right? It started with a boom, and then the growth stopped. And why is that? Because Tether was too established, was trusted, and keep understanding that you cannot just copy an idea and sit on it. You have to continue to improve it. Tether is incredibly involved with research and development. The reason why we are doing that is, of course, to keep the first mover advantage, but at the same time, we want to give back to the community that helped us and defended us in difficult moments that, of course, most of the company have, and Tether had. So we felt that the right thing was trying to fund projects and find good opportunities to collaborate with the open source project. As said before, we are launching on other platforms, but at the same time, we are funding 2 projects. One is RGB Spectrum, that is the ability of issuing digital assets on top of Lightning Network. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Lightning Network. I believe that is the most beautiful peer-to-peer micropayment system and protocol. For me was, of course, the obvious choice to try to fund projects that could issue digital assets on top of Lightning Network. So Tether, as long as that protocol is deemed to be secure, Tether will launch on that. And proof of Marshall from Peter Todd. Tether, I believe, has a huge business growth opportunity and is already working hard on that. And the graph before shows this. We are with this steady growth towards the 5 billion. So remittances, salaries, and invoices. Every day we get contacted by companies that say, "Look, can we start using Tether for these use cases?" Of course. I mean, we are more than happy to see that Tether becomes the cryptocurrency of choice for many crypto businesses and non-crypto businesses that use Tether outside of the simple use case of arbitrage. Merchant and commerces, goods, services are being paid in Tether every day more and more. This is one of the most booming one, USDt stable loans. We are seeing companies that are offering loans backed by Bitcoin. So they offer to their customers a certain amount of Tether in exchange for a high Bitcoin collateral, in order so that the customer can keep enjoying the ride and keep enjoying the possession of their beloved cryptocurrencies. At the same time, they can use the stablecoin to invest, to pay bills, and grow their businesses. And DeFi, we are going to announce some big collaboration with one of the biggest DeFi projects. Tether is working hard to find let's say, a good way, a clever way to be also the leading stablecoin in the DeFi space. That's all. Thank you very much for listening. I believe that if you have questions now. Thank you.
So I think we have time for maybe one question.
Sure.
Because we're coming up against a coffee break. So I think the question I'm going to ask, because I'm the most curious, is since the activity from the New York AG in April 2019, which caused a lot of press and a lot of attention thrown on Tether, Tether has still continued to grow. Why is it so popular?
I
Why do
believe
people love Tether?
Of course, I cannot talk about the New York AG thing. It's not my role. The ugly guy before we saw in the second slide is really watching me. So, Tether is trusted by is trusted by the community. I mean, every day we get companies that contact us to wire money to acquire Tethers. And what I can say is we know how to take care of the customers. We know how to run the business. We know we invented the concept. We invented and we keep innovating it. We keep growing on other blockchains. We keep understanding that you cannot take hard positions if you don't need to be involved in religion wars against blockchains. You just have to provide the tools, and if you are good enough, I mean, one thing a funny thing that we said in Tether is that it's not that Tether is the perfect stablecoin, but the competition is really bad. They don't understand the potential of the market.
Yeah, great. Paolo, thank you so much. Please, let's give Paolo a warm welcome or thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.